Before a woman enters the film industry, she could undergo sexual harassment, sexual assault, or rape in itself. They fear that they will be wiped off the film industry. They will be informally, illegally, and unconstitutionally banned from the film industry if they come out against powerful people.
And what form does this gender discrimination take?
Which basically means that they are not provided with toilet facilities. They are not provided with changing rooms. Their privacy is compromised on every film set.
Hi, welcome to the Indian Express. My name is Pooja Pillai. We are here today talking about the Hema Committee report, which was released last week on August 19. It was a bombshell that rocked the Malayalam film industry, and possibly it has ripples beyond the Malayalam film industry. This was a report, in fact, that was submitted by the Justice Hema Committee to look into the conditions of women in the Malayalam film industry. The formation of this committee, in fact, goes all the way back to 2017 when an actor was abducted and assaulted, and that sent shockwaves through the Malayalam film industry. To go into detail about that and to talk about the Hema Committee itself and the report it has submitted and what the findings in the report are, I have with me today my colleague Nikhila Henry, who has been reporting on this matter right since 2017 when the actor was abducted and assaulted. So Nikhila, give us the background of the Hema Committee and the report that it has submitted, and in fact the crime that was which was the initiating factor in this.
It was in 2017 that a very infamous case of sexual assault happened in the Malayalam film industry. In 2017, a leading woman actor was abducted and raped in a moving vehicle in Kochi in Kerala. And following that, a few women actors raised the issue that the accused in the case, who was accused of orchestrating the crime, had to be removed from this association called AMMA. That is Association of Malayalam Movie Artists. So during the AMMA decided not to oust the member who was accused of this crime. And it was decided that at least 3 of the actors would walk out from this association. So the walkout actually happened very naturally, and it was not expected that it would lead to anything. But what happened was that they formed another association called Women in Cinema Collective, which became an umbrella organization for a lot of women actors, technicians, and others who are associated, other women who are associated with the Malayalam film industry. So in this context, it was the WCC, or the Women in Cinema Collective, requested the Chief Minister of Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan, to set up a committee to look into the working conditions of women in cinema, and also the general working conditions of the film industry in the South. So a committee was set up with 3 members. Justice Hema was heading the committee, and the committee studied the workings of the film industry and submitted its report in 2019. Since then, the report did not see the light of day because it was recommended that some of the depositions before the committee, which were made by actors in confidence before the committee in camera proceedings, it will be outed in front of the public, and the survivors will face problems because of the same. Their identity will be compromised. But a section of people, including 5-6 journalists, some RTI activists, basically petitioned for the release of the report. And this came up for hearing in front of the State Information Commission. And the State Information Commission basically said that the report can be released with certain redactions.
Which is the version that we have now. What we are seeing is the redacted version.
With certain redactions, so that it can be protected. The identity of those deposed can be protected. So, but that was again challenged in the High Court, Kerala High Court, where it was argued that even if the redacted version were to be out, it would again compromise the privacy of people who have spoken before the committee. But the Kerala High Court ruled in favor of the State Information Commission's order, which basically said that a redacted version can be out. So that is the report that we have right now, and it has taken about 5 years for it to come out.
Yeah. Right. So, Nikhila, what are the main findings of the committee? Because it was primarily formed to look into the conditions of women actors.
Yeah.
But it has gone beyond that.
Yeah.
So, can you give me an idea of what is it that the report is revealing that is really shocked the industry?
So the report in itself says that a lot of practices within the film industry were shocking for the committee itself. And the committee lists out a particular methodology by which, they basically took evidence in terms of digital evidence like WhatsApp chats, voice recordings, and also direct depositions of people who were affected, and also the counters of people who were accused. So it is basically we should understand that it is basically a report which has covered almost everything and with a sound methodology, in fact. So, and this report, which can be considered authentic, basically says that there is gender discrimination in the Malayalam film industry. That is what the underlying fact of it is.
And what form does this gender discrimination take?
So the gender discrimination basically is divided into several aspects. First of all, the committee basically says that it is women are denied even their basic human rights within the industry, which basically means that they are not provided with toilet facilities, they are not provided with changing rooms, their privacy is compromised on every film set. And it goes on to say that even before a woman enters the film industry, she might even undergo sexual harassment, because there will be certain people who approach her, or she could be approaching certain people who would put a demand for sex right up front. So even before, the committee notes that even before a woman enters the film industry, she could undergo sexual harassment, sexual assault, or rape in itself. And then it goes on to say that that women face several cases of sexual abuse and assault, and none of them would want to either go to the police or come up with their experiences even in front of a body like Amma, Association of Malayalam Movie Artists, because they fear that they will be wiped off the film industry. And the wiped off part, the commission repeats several times, and they mean basically that they will be informally, illegally, and unconstitutionally banned from the film industry if they come out against powerful people in the film industry.
And this is an allegation that men have made also, right?
Men have also made the same allegation, saying that it is possible to ban anybody from the film industry by a coterie of 10 to 15 people who control the film industry, who can say that because of their whims and fancies, can decide that one person need not necessarily act in a particular director's film, and then that person can be, through word of mouth, that person can be sidelined in the film industry. And that is when the commission says that they can be wiped off from the film industry. So the report not just talks about sexual harassment, it talks about systemic problems within the film industry, and it talks about the power structures within the film industry.
Quite a bit of men, in fact, deposed before the Hema Committee, and like you just said, many of them did speak about this illegal, unconstitutional ban that it's a practice within the film industry. Yeah. What else have the men that deposed before the committee spoken about? And what is their reaction, in fact, to the many sexual harassment and sexual abuse allegations that the women in the industry have been making?
men have basically spoken about the ban in the film industry which they have faced. This includes actors, directors, even technicians. For example, the commission notes that if a light boy smokes in front of a senior actor, and senior actor doesn't like it, he can be banned from the industry. So that means that, this powerful group of 10 to 15 people can actually decide who gets to work in the film industry, even for the basic things. So these things have been brought out by the men who have deposed before the committee, and some of them have even narrated their own personal experiences, saying that they were faced illegal ban through word of mouth, and that they were asked to pay, for example, in one case, they were asked to pay a sum of rupees 20 lakh to get back into films.
Mhm.
So that means that the committee continuously mentions that be it men or women, it is not possible to prove that there is a ban. The person who is banned will get to know of it, and the person who and the people who have imposed the ban will know it, but there won't be any material proof of it. So because of which it cannot be challenged in a court of law, and that is why they are saying that it is illegal and that it is unconstitutional, because it is denial of basic right of having a job of employment, isn't it?
Right.
So I think that men who have deposed have come up with details of this ban. And the other part is that one interesting part is about men who say that the formation of WCC, or Women in Cinema Collective, was a positive step, because there was no other body where bad practices in cinema could actually be discussed, debated and brought to the fore. At least some men have congratulated the women's collective, saying that it is that they have brought up certain issues which are universal to everybody,
Right. So now that all of this is out, what have the reactions been from the industry, from the WCC, of course, and also from actors and technicians, etc., who are not part of the WCC?
WCC has been at the forefront of the protests for the release of the Hema Committee report. And for them, and according to an actor whom I spoke to, it is a victory for them that the committee report has come out. And they are studying the committee report to figure out what exactly can be done in the future to prevent these bad practices from the film industry. And about other bodies, for example, Amma has come up with a statement which basically denies almost everything which is there in the Hema Committee, which Amma denies that there is a power group. The existence of the power group they deny. They have also denied that there are rampant cases of sexual assault, that they have denied. So Amma's statement has been, a denial on the whole, except for one particular senior actor who said that cases of sexual harassment cannot be considered as stray instances. This is an actor who is part of Amma and who said this in the press conference, kind of contradicting what the others had said before him.
So one of the office bearers of Amma, in fact, recently stepped down following certain allegations against him. What has Amma's response been right from 2017 to the issues raised by the WCC and in fact even women from outside the WCC?
Amma's reaction to the 2017 case of rape and sexual assault was that they would stand with the survivor, but they will also, till the accused person is found guilty, the accused person who is one of their members is found guilty, they will also stand with the person. So it came to be known as, a kind of double standards where you're standing both with the survivor and also the accused. That was widely pointed out in the Kerala social sphere, and Amma has really not changed that position a lot, since then. But what has happened after the release of the Hema Committee report is that there are several cases of sexual assault and sexual harassment which have again come to the fore. And women have basically been saying that because Hema Committee report exposes so many instances of sexual harassment and assault, we are reminded of what happened to us, and now we are coming out and saying that these are the people who abused us, and this is what actually happened to us. So the committee report's impact has been such that even Amma has had to, take note of it. And that is why the General Secretary of Amma had to step down from his position, because an actor came out after the release of the Hema Committee report and said that he raped and sexually assaulted her. And so I think that, Amma's stand has changed over a period of time in terms of the quick response, at least.
Right.
In 2017, perhaps it was very difficult for the body to oust a particular member from their community. But in 2024, a member, and that to a senior office bearer himself, within 24 hours put in his papers. So that means that there has been a change, and we can attribute it to the general awareness, which is created about the film industry, the practices within the film industry, and to a great extent WCC has contributed to it. And the rest of the gap is actually bridged by the Hema Committee report, which exposes a lot of these issues.
Right. Nikhila, the government has in fact faced some flack for the delay in releasing the report. You talked about, you recounted in fact, the various twists and tangles through which it had to go before it was finally made public. Can you tell us a little bit about the various reasons that the government offered, since the report was presented to it in 2019, for not releasing the report all this while?
Yeah, so there has been only one consistent stand which the government has been taking, which is that the survivors or the people who are affected by the sexual assault and other cases of discrimination within the film industry who deposed before the Hema Committee would, their privacy would be compromised if the report is released. So it is in their benefit that the government is holding on to the report, is what was consistently told by people in the government, especially the culture minister Saji Cherian, who recently said that he himself had not read the report because they were keeping it under wraps.
Okay, and the government has also faced some criticism for not acting on what the findings in the report are. Was it possible for the government to have acted on what the findings in the report are? Because there are some crimes that are reported in there. So what could the government have done actually in these 5 years or even now?
So what the government has done right now is that they have constituted a committee which includes senior IPS officers, including women IPS officers, and they will basically be looking into the cases of assault which have come out. So now there is the government is in a kind of quandary, because women are coming out and speaking about cases of sexual assault which are shaking the general psyche of the common people, out there in Kerala. So there is a quandary of sorts whether they should file an FIR based on these allegations which women have come up with. In front of television cameras, in front of people like us, and so moto lodge a police complaint and, kind of go on with the investigation. So instead of lodging an FIR, what the government has done is to set up a committee of IPS officers to look into these cases which are coming out say in on television and on paper. To some extent, they are taking action, as far as I understand.
So, Nikhila, there are some solutions that the Hema Committee itself has proposed, which it has outlined in the report. Can you tell us a little bit about these solutions?
Yeah, so the main solution which the Hema Committee says in terms of sexual harassment is that there should be a tribunal which should be formed. And there is a particular reason why the committee has recommended the formation of a tribunal, and that is very telling about the state of the Malayalam film industry, because the Hema Committee basically says that if you form an ICC or an internal complaints committee and allow people from the film industry to be part of ICC and deal with the cases, women either would not come out and speak, or their position will be compromised in such a way that whatever they have deposed before this ICC will go out to the powerful people in the Malayalam film industry, and because of which women will face a backlash. So the committee basically says that an ICC is not a solution for the sexual harassment which women are facing within the industry. So they say that it is better if the government in itself forms a tribunal and adjudicate these cases. The government itself sets up a particular body under a particular statute to adjudicate on these cases, and that is the only way by which women will get some justice, is what the committee is basically saying.
There are also some recommendations within the report or formalizing the work in the film industry. Can you talk a little bit about that also, because it is the informal nature of the industry which is in fact leading to a lot of these abusive practices.
Yeah, so one observation of the committee based on the depositions is that Malayalam film industry works on a lot of word of mouth dealings. Like, for instance, there won't be a contract between an actor and a producer. So unless there is a contract on the remuneration, the terms of the work involved and all that, the actor will never be able to challenge any sort of breach of contract. So the committee basically recommends that there should be some sort of at least some sort of formalization of the work roles within the industry, so that if there is a grievance, it can be addressed properly.
Nikhila, can you tell us a little bit about the reactions from outside the Malayalam film industry? Have there been any?
Actually, one of the first cases of sexual harassment which came out after the release of the Hema Committee report came from the Bengal film industry. A Bengali woman actor basically came out and leveled allegations against a very senior director in the Malayalam film industry, saying that they misbehaved with her, that he misbehaved with her. So, but on the whole, because the size of the film industry is so small, there is this explosive report that we have at hand, but the kind of responses you would expect from it, I don't think that it has elicited that kind of response from other film industries.
If something similar happened in Bollywood, it would get a lot more response, I'm assuming.
Probably. I'm not. I wouldn't say that it would elicit different kind of a response. But at least in terms of, I've not come across somebody from say any of the other film industries who have said that, say, we would like to implement this here. The whole point of the Hema Committee report and the committee report itself says that this is the first time that something like this is being done, and it can be replicated in other places. So a step towards that I have not seen so far.
Thanks a lot, Nikhila. That was very insightful. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Pooja, and thank you for having me here.
And thank you to our viewers. This was Nikhila Henry talking about the Hema Committee report. It's an explosive report, and hopefully it will change things for the better in the Malayalam film industry.